in nature, free sunshine, converting cholesterol to vitamin D. And vitamin D is also important in a lot of other areas in the body in protection from cancers as well. So keep that in mind and let's move forward here. We're going to skip that particular reading there because there's so much other more information I want to share with you. Now the final piece, with that bathtub that's running over, we want to mop up the floor. Too much of these, and we're not being temperate, will elevate our cholesterol level. Remember we talked about too many nuts and too much free oils, be it olive, canola, whatever it may be. Now, you know, most of the time when you see a presentation on chronic diseases, some of these stats are mentioned somewhere in the middle. But for the impact of this, I wanted to put it at the end, just to serve as a reminder. These are some of the diseases that will result from high cholesterol. Coronary heart disease, which the major thing that you will be dealing with is arteriosclerosis or atherosclerosis. They're basically the same. A stroke. A stroke can result from too much cholesterol in the blood or atherosclerosis. What happens in the brain is the vessels running through the vein are much smaller. So it's not going to take much to clog those up. Once they clog up, oxygen going into the brain shuts off. Thus, you're going to have a stroke. Peripheral vascular disease, which is mainly the arteries in the leg and feet become clogged. Thus, you have circulation problems. If that's not dealt with, eventually you could face an amputation. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and we talked about that earlier. Glaucoma, the arteries in the eyes, they're very small as well. It's not going to take much to clog those up. Once they start to clog, you're going to have a problem. You know, just a quick testimony to you, a friend of mine, his cholesterol level was 260, 280. So we sat down and talked. He was wondering what he could do to lower his cholesterol level. I asked him if he ate any meat. He told me no. But as we talked more, only to find out, he said, well, yeah, you know, I'll go by, he mentioned a restaurant, and I'll get a chicken sandwich. And I guess maybe he didn't consider that meat. But he agreed. He took these items out of his diet. Don't you know, within three, maybe 4 weeks. Now, he was an avid runner. He would run and he would exercise. But that just goes to show there are a host of things that need to be done if you're going to deal with these diseases. So he made a lifestyle change. Within 3-4 weeks, I talked to him again. He said, my cholesterol level is now down to, I think he said 160, down from 240. So just goes to show what can actually happen when you do follow these things. The last one is chronic kidney disease. You got to remember, where the arteries are small leading into certain organs, it's not going to take much to clog those up. So the arteries will not just clog where they're big. They're going to clog any and everywhere that they can. But chronic kidney disease will result also from high blood pressure. So keep that in mind when you are sitting down and you're consuming that item that really tastes good to you. But the last thing I want you to consider is, if not for yourself, those of you who have children, they are now suffering from high cholesterol levels, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, which is called adult onset because it used to only happen to adults. So what I want you to do, consider this. You are what you eat, but so are your children, or so will be your children. I found this, and this was very powerful to me, in that as the mother takes in certain foods, the fetus takes on the nutrients or the lack of nutrients from these foods. Something to keep in mind. And even if you have kids, 99% of the time, whatever you sit down to eat, they're going to eat it as well. And they're going to get some of these diseases that adults used to get, some of them before they're out of their teens. some of them before they reach their teens. We want to avoid this. So, we want to be able to say so long to cholesterol. And it can be done. Keep in mind the tips that you have heard. Follow these things and practice them. And remember, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. For these bodies are not our own. We have been bought with a price. So let us glorify God in our bodies and in our spirits, which are His. Thank you.